Welcome to the 5-Minute Trading Edge brought to you by the Institutional Edge System. Well, we all know it. Finding entries is hard enough. You do your work, you find your locations, you're patient, and then finally your entry opportunity presents itself. Maybe it's a scenario like this where prices come up and then it's come back down. You're looking at a low or a floor, and you decide to make your long or your buy entry, thinking that price is going to go back up, and it turns out you're right. But while you're in that trade, if you can find a way to minimize your risk and capture profits along the way, boy, that's a welcome sight, especially as you're dealing with market churn. Price grinds along until it finds its direction, hopefully the one that you're looking for. Now you have targets that you've probably set along the way, coinciding with support and resistance, but a way for you to manage that trade would be really helpful. So we're going to talk about stop management, and specifically a way for you to capture profits as your trade advances, and while doing so also minimizing that intra-trade risk that you might be facing. We'll do that using the COT, Commitment of Traders, something that we have presented to us thanks to order flow sequence tracking intelligence. Now let's take a quick closer look at what this is. Commitment of Trader is the spot within each candle where we have the most volume. Now we might have clusters that show us the high volume areas depending on our settings, but the COT right within a candle is that spot, that tick between buying and selling activity where we have the most volume. Why do we care? Well, that is support and resistance. And that support and resistance within a trade is a great place for us to manage a stop. So let's see what this looks like. Here we are. Here's a chart. Thanks to order flow sequence tracking intelligence, we're looking inside each of these candles, which is outstanding. And what we're paying attention to is these spots in gray right here. These are COT clusters. These are areas where the most volume is taking place. This is helpful for us to see, because if we have multiple clusters, like this candle here, one up here and then one down here, we want to know if there are multiple areas where we're seeing a lot of volume compared to the rest of the candle. But if we want to simplify things, really all we need to do is just look at the COT, the place where the most volume is going off. And there we turned off the COT clusters. We can spot that really easily. Now it's no coincidence that these COT areas appear as price moves along within 1 or 2 or 3 ticks unless we see a move. So yeah, in fact, it is an area of high volume and support and resistance. And if you're paying close attention, yeah, it certainly coincides with the POC there. So if we took a closer look at this and we spotted a trade that we maybe liked, and this is just for illustration purposes, here we are, we're right at value area low. We have sequential decline, not 3, but 5 in descending order. 37.36, 37.07, 20.50, 19.27, and drops all the way down to 64. We also have responsive activity. So we go ahead and we say, well, hey, right at this area here, I think price has had enough. I think these sellers have had enough. I think price is going to go up. So I'm going to park a trade or a buy position right here. And voila, in our fictitious video land, it gets filled. So here's how we're able to manage this. Now using the ATM, we had this set at 10 by 20. So this is again mocked up here, but our target is set some 20 or so ticks up here, 10 or so ticks down here, maybe a little bit farther if we're being really, really accurate. But as price develops, we're going to give it a bar to breathe. Yeah, it went up as we got tagged up here, and then, or as we got tagged down there, it went up. And then as it went here, we see some declining activity. So a place for us to move our stop, we would hike this thing right up here to that COT. We like it. It's proven out with the prior candle. That's where it's living. Now, as price goes up again here, we're seeing more profits, but already we will have ticked off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ticks in profit. And as things oscillate back, ultimately, if it would have come back and stopped us out down here as price came back down, we would have locked our 5 ticks in profit. We also would have minimized our risk. If things went up, we would have had a chance to move our COT up accordingly. Maybe move it up, we would have gotten it stopped out again there. But as opposed to just letting that stop sit down here and not doing anything with it, passively watching the trade, we have a chance to advance it. So there it is, stop management. Now keep in mind we're advancing the stops. We're not retreating them or taking them out. Yeah, you can move those stops back. You can even take them out, but that does nothing to mitigate your risk. We're only talking about in instances like this where we're advancing them. Note that we're also keeping our targets the same. We allow for the trade to develop. Give it at least a bar or a candle as we did in that instance, so you have a reliable spot and COT location to take a look at. And then if price comes back and stops you out, accept those retracements and take your profits. If you'd like to see more about how you can profit from stop management, watch the free 4-part training at institutionaledgesystem.com. Until then, thanks for your time.